Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking you somewhere pretty special, right to the heart of Tirunelveli in Tamil Nadu. Just try and picture this for a second. You're standing in front of the Sri Nellaiyappar Temple. It's ancient, majestic. These incredible towers of the gopurams, they just soar into the sky. You can almost feel the history there, the devotion just echoing in those stone halls. It's the kind of place you go expecting peace, serenity.
A real sense of the sacred.
Exactly. But then something jars. Something's not quite right. Right there, amidst all this spiritual grandeur you find, commercial shops.
Shops inside the temple complex.
Yeah. Bustling, selling things. It just feels wrong, out of place. Like finding a fast food stand in, I don't know, a library's quiet reading room.
That's quite an image, and it's not just a feeling, right? This has actually caught official attention.
Oh, big time. It's landed squarely in front of the Madras High Court. Just last week, actually, August 25th, 2025, the Madurai bench dropped a pretty stern summons.
Okay, and what was their main point?
They asked a very direct question. How on earth did commercial shops get permission to set up there? Especially in a place like the Udan Mandapam, which is like historically and spiritually vital.
Right, the Udan Mandapam specifically, that's key.
Okay, so let's unpack this. This deep dive isn't just about a court case. It's really about this clash, this tension between, ancient tradition and modern commerce, protecting sacredness when profit often calls the shots. We're digging into what this says about Tamil Nadu's incredible temple culture and maybe what it tells us all about that tricky balance between the sacred and the everyday stuff.
It resonates beyond just temples, doesn't it? It's about values, heritage.
Exactly. That feeling when something you hold sacred feels like it's being changed or, I don't know, maybe diminished.
So to really get this, we need to understand the temple itself first. Nellaiyappar. It's quite something, isn't it?
It really is. Tell us a bit more about it. The setting, the history.
Absolutely. Well, first off, its location is stunning. It's right there on the banks of the Tamirapurani River. That setting alone adds this serene quality. And it's dedicated to Lord Shiva as Nellaiyappar and goddess Parvati, who's known as Kanthimati Amman there. But its legacy is huge. It's one of the Paradal Petrostalams.
Ah, right. The ones sung about by the Nayanars.
Exactly, the ancient Saivite saints. That tells you straight away about its deep, deep spiritual roots. We're talking centuries of reverence, often well over 1,000 years. It's steeped in history.
And architecturally, it's that classic Southern style, right?
Oh, absolutely. Pure Dravidian craftsmanship. You've got those iconic towering gopurams, the gateway towers, and these really intricate halls, the mandapams covered in carvings. Each one tells a story.
But this specific hall, the Udan Mandapam, is central to this whole controversy. What makes it so special? It's not just another part of the building.
No, not at all. The Udan Mandapam is ancient, and it's packed with spiritual significance. It's not just architecture. It's where devotees traditionally gather for prayers, for rituals. It's a space for direct connection.
So it's considered highly sacred ground within the temple.
Fundamentally sacred. It's woven into the spiritual lifeblood of the place for generations. You could almost call it the spiritual heart of the temple complex, taking that space for commerce. Well, you can see why it's causing such a stir.
Yeah, that sense of betrayal, almost, like their spiritual home is being invaded. And this feeling, it seems, has a strong legal backing.
It does. The core of the legal argument rests on a specific law. Section 77 of the Tamil Nadu Hindu Religious and Charitable Endowments Act. That's the HR&CE Act of 1959.
Section 77. Okay, what does it say?
It's remarkably clear, actually. It basically states that any lease, mortgage, or, alienation, any kind of transfer or use of temple property is null and void. And it explicitly includes monuments and sculptures.
Null and void. That sounds pretty definitive.
It is. The law was clearly written to be a guardian, to protect these places, make sure they stay focused on worship and religious activities, not become, marketplaces.
So the court isn't just pointing out a minor rule break. They're saying this fundamentally violates the law.
Precisely. They observed that allowing these shops is a direct violation. But they went further. The justices actually said that the officials responsible for giving out these leases, they could face disciplinary action. Maybe even prosecution.
Wow, okay, so real consequences.
Yes, it sends a powerful message. This isn't just poor management, it's potentially actionable. It treats the commercialization as a serious affront to religious feelings. The principle is clear. Temples are for devotion, not profit.
Which puts the spotlight firmly on the body responsible for managing these temples, right? The HR&CE Department?
Exactly. The Hindu Religious and Charitable Endowments Department.
Right.
They have this enormous task overseeing thousands of temples across the state, managing finances, making sure rituals happen correctly. It's a huge mandate.
They're meant to be the custodians.
The custodians, yes. But, look, their record hasn't always been seen as perfect. They've faced accusations before mismanagement, sometimes insensitivity. It's a massive job, managing so many ancient sites, huge pressures.
True, the scale is immense.
But allowing shops inside the Udan Mandapam, that raises some really pointed questions about their oversight in this specific instance. How did something so clearly against the rules and in such a sacred spot get approved?
Which leads us back to that court summons.
Right. That's why the Joint Commissioner was called to appear on August 26th. The court wants answers. It shows how seriously they're taking this. The department has to explain itself not just to the court, but really to the public.
And that public trust aspect is huge, isn't it? I mean, think about the people who support these temples.
Absolutely. Many temples rely heavily on donations, small amounts, large amounts, from ordinary devotees who give out of faith.
Yeah.
So seeing those sacred spaces potentially commercialized or feeling are mismanaged, that can feel like a deep betrayal of trust. It undermines the whole relationship.
And this isn't just happening at Nellaiyappar, is it? This feeling, this issue, it seems bigger.
That's a critical point. Nellaiyappar isn't happening in a vacuum. If you look across Tamil Nadu, there's been this growing worry, this pattern of commercial activities creeping into temple premises. The courts have actually had to step in before.
Okay, like what? Are there other examples?
Yes, definitely. For instance, back in January 2025, the Madras High Court ruled very clearly that surplus temple funds, extra money, cannot be used to build shopping complexes.
Ah, okay. So no using temple money for commercial development.
Exactly. The judgment said that money should go towards religious and charitable things, helping poorer temples, maybe funding Vedic schools, that kind of thing, aligned with the temple's mission.
That makes sense.
Any others. And then, just the year before, January 2024, there was another important order. Justice Srimathy restricted non-Hindus from going past the Kodamaram, the main flagpole area, unless they basically agreed to respect the customs and faith.
Why was that necessary?
Apparently, there were incidents, people being disrespectful, like eating non-vegetarian food on the grounds, things that violated the sanctity of this space.
I see. So both rulings, in different ways, are trying to protect the temple's core purpose.
That's the thread connecting them. Whether it's finances or visitor conduct, the courts are consistently saying the spiritual mission comes first. Revenue generation, convenience. Those things can't override the fundamental nature of the place.
It really is like that analogy of someone setting up shop in your living room, your personal space. Temples are spiritual homes for so many. And these commercial things inside feel like an invasion. The court seems to be drawing that line very firmly. This is sacred, not commercial.
And the public seems to be responding to that line being drawn.
Oh, definitely. The reaction to the court stepping in has been noticeable. A mix of, anger that it got this far, but also real relief that something's being done.
Yeah, the public voice matters here. We even saw social media picking it up. That post on X you mentioned by @ExpressStern on August 26th about the summons, that helps amplify it.
Right. It brings it out into the open.
And it becomes personal for people. Temples aren't just monuments, they're community hubs, festivals, daily prayers. They're woven into life.
So when it feels like they're being used for profit, it's not just an abstract issue. It feels like a violation of shared heritage.
Absolutely. And that outcry is a reminder, isn't it, that these places belong, in a sense, to the community. And the HR&CE, as a public body, needs to be accountable to the people whose faith and donations sustain these temples.
This whole situation, though, it highlights a really tricky balance, doesn't it?
It really does. The Nellaiyappar case, it's like a snapshot of a much bigger challenge. How do you maintain ancient traditions when you've got all these modern pressures, especially economic ones?
Because let's be honest, maintaining these massive ancient structures must cost a fortune.
Exactly. While we talk about protecting sanctity, we can't ignore the economics. It's a tough reality. We heard about that affidavit, the one cited by Jaggi Vasudev.
The one with the shocking numbers.
Yeah. Nearly 12,000 temples in Tamil Nadu apparently don't have enough income for even one daily puja. And 37,000 can only afford a single staff member.
Wow, that's staggering. It puts the why behind some decisions in a different light, maybe. Not necessarily justifying them, but
That's complexity. It's not always simple mismanagement. Sometimes it's desperation or just the sheer overwhelming cost of upkeep for places that might not draw huge crowds or donations. It's a massive financial burden.
but the court does offer alternatives, doesn't it, when temples do have surplus funds?
It does. And those alternatives steer clear of commercial shops. The court suggested using surplus money to help those poorer temples we just mentioned, or setting up Vedic schools supporting Hindu orphans.
Things that fit the religious and charitable mandate.
Exactly. Activities that align with the core mission. So it's not just saying no to shops, it's suggesting yes to other, more appropriate uses of resources. It's about ethical management within the temple's own framework.
So maybe the line is about where and what. A small stall selling puja items near the entrance might be one thing.
Perhaps. People often draw that distinction. But a full-on commercial shop, deep inside, especially in a sacred space like the Udan Mandapam, that feels fundamentally different.
Yeah, that seems to be the crux of it. This court case is really about redefining or maybe reinforcing that boundary.
Precisely. Where does acceptable convenience end and unacceptable commercialization begin?
So, looking ahead, what happens now? This hearing on August 26th could be quite significant.
It really could. The outcome could set a major precedent for how temples are managed right across Tamil Nadu. It could influence future decisions about leases, land use, everything.
And what are people hoping comes out of this? Are there ideas for better ways forward?
Well, you hear talk about maybe more community involvement, giving devotees, the people who are the lifeblood of these places, more of a say in how they're run.
That makes sense. More transparency too, perhaps.
Definitely. Clearer rules, more open processes if any kind of leasing is considered at all. That might help prevent these controversies bubbling up again and rebuild some trust.
It feels like a moment for the HR&CE Department too, a chance to show they're listening.
It's a huge opportunity for them, yes, to demonstrate that they prioritize the religious feelings, the sanctity, maybe over just looking at the bottom line, to really foster that culture of respect for tradition.
It's about ensuring these places survive not just physically, but spiritually.
Exactly. This is a chance to make sure that future generations can experience Nellaiyappar and temples like it as places of peace, of devotion, not just, another commercial space. It's about keeping heritage sacred, not just turning it into an asset.
So when we boil it all down, this deep dive really shows that the question the Madras High Court is asking, it goes way beyond just a legal point. It's like a wake-up call, isn't it? For anyone who cares about spiritual heritage. It demands that we think about accountability and be really clear about what these sacred spaces mean to us. Where do we draw that line?
And that leaves us with a bigger thought, perhaps. In this world that's changing so fast, with all the economic pressures, all the challenges of governance, how do we collectively make sure that these things don't end up overshadowing the real purpose, the deep spiritual meaning of these incredibly precious sites? What's our role as citizens, as a society, in safeguarding these legacies so they remain true sanctuaries, not just entries on a balance sheet?